Hi, my name is Chloe and welcome to my 2022 anime figures pre-order video. I have been collecting for a few years now, but figures weren't really my main focus. One of the main reasons why I wasn't buying a lot of figures back then was because I had this really strict rule where I wouldn't buy figures of characters I didn't know and would only buy figures of characters that I really liked. And unfortunately, the characters I really liked back then didn't really have any figures, but they did have a lot of merch. So that kind of explains why I was collecting more general merchandise than figures. But now I don't really follow this rule. I do still have certain standards before pre-ordering figures, but you'll see that those standards are pretty low. It doesn't really take much for me to hit that pre-order button. So yeah, I have a fair bit more figures pre-ordered for this year compared to the last few years. Anyways, let's just get right into it because I feel like this is gonna take a while. So starting us off is the 1/7 scale figure of Chen from Arknights by Apex. So Chen's actually been out for a while in Japan. I believe she released in August of last year, but I ordered her off Tom because I had some points and coupons that were expiring or something, and it would have been cheaper overall if I got her from there because it was only like $133 total with shipping. But as to why I ordered the figure despite being kind of plain compared to the other announced Arknight figures at the time is purely because she was one of my favorite operators when I was playing the game. I no longer do, but I still like her enough to keep the pre-order. I don't really mind that she's pretty plain, to be honest. I've seen pictures of her and I think she looks fine, and for the price I paid, I'm pretty content with what I'm gonna get. So yeah, moving on to the second figure. It is the 1/7 scale Elena deluxe version. She is from Majo no Tabi Tabi, or the Wandering Witch. So yeah, this figure I just kind of ordered around the holidays without any real thought because I thought the figure as a whole was really cute. I love the whole design and vibe of it, the whole casual fantasy aesthetic it's got going on. But yeah, so I paid about $100 including shipping. And I did kind of think about canceling this figure for a bit just because there's another Elena figure that I found that kind of fits more with the collection. But I don't know, I just really love everything about this figure. I love the little donut in her mouth and a cat following her. And I think the base is so pretty. It's basically a whole scene unto itself. So honestly, I just don't know. I really love it, but do I need 2 Elena figures? I haven't even watched the series completely, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, moving on to the next figure, the last figure for January. It is the 1/7 scale figure of Klee from Genshin Impact by Apex. And I got her for about 16,800 yen, which is about $148 US. I do play Genshin, but I don't have Klee. But I just think she's so cute and I basically have no other choice to get her. Okay, so I say that, but short story, this is actually my second time pre-ordering her because I actually canceled her once before a couple of months ago because she was originally supposed to release in, I think, December. And that month got really bad because a bunch of other figures got delayed from October and November. And I had to make some tough decisions, and Klee didn't make the cut, unfortunately. But luckily, those other figures that made the cut got delayed again to January, and then later again to February. So I was checking Ami every other day to check if Klee's pre-orders opened up because she did get delayed into January. And yeah, here she is, back where she belongs on my pre-order list. Moving on to February, and the first one is the Racing Miku 2021 Nendoroid, which I got for $65 including shipping from the Global Good Smile store. So this one did get delayed from 2021, and this one I ordered purely because I thought she looked super cute in her car. That's the only reason why I got this. I used to have this whole thing about not having any Miku figures just because I know, like I knew that if I had one, then I would like buy another one and that will lead to another one. And I didn't really want like a bunch of Mikus in my collection because I'm not really familiar with Vocaloid other than like the characters and like a certain gacha game. But anyways, moving on to the next figure, it is another Nendoroid which I ordered with Miku. This is the Kingdom Hearts 3 version of Roxas, which I picked up for $58.99. I used to be a big Kingdom Hearts fan growing up, and Roxas was always one of my favorite characters. I did kind of debate on getting him just because I'm not really that into Kingdom Hearts anymore, but he's best boy. He is my boy. So I needed to get him. Next up is the 1/7 scale Emilia Shiromuku, or the white kimono version by Furyu. I got her from Tom for about $182 including shipping. I think this figure looks absolutely stunning. I love how the dress and her hair look like they're flowing, and the dress has a texture to them that also makes it like really interesting to look at. Like it's not just like a flat color. And one thing that I realized recently that I really love on figures is that her nails are painted. I'm not 100% sure that they are, but it looks to be that way. And overall, I just think it's such a beautiful figure of Emilia. After Emilia is the 1/8 scale figure of Kocho Shinobu from Aniplex. I got her off Right Stuff for about $275, which is stupid expensive. I don't really like ordering from Right Stuff too often just because the shipping is so expensive to my area. But they were the only ones still taking pre-orders by the time I made up my mind on getting her, so it was really my fault. I just think this is like one of the prettiest Shinobu figures out there, and I really did want a Shinobu figure, but I wasn't really feeling any of the other ones. I've seen pictures of her on Instagram already, and I think she looks great. Like the effects I was kind of worried about, like they would come out as blobs, but I think they did a pretty good job on it, maybe. But yeah, I am kind of worried about any breakages, like on the effects pieces especially, because they do look pretty fragile, but hopefully it's a non-issue. Crossing my fingers on that. Alright, the next figure is the 1/7 scale Murata Himeko Vermilion Knights Eclipse version from Honkai Impact 3rd by MiHoYo and Apex. So she was actually supposed to release in January. Well, no, she was supposed to release in December, and then January, and now February. Anyway, this was one of the figures that ended up getting banished to the abyss for a bit. But yeah, other than loving Himeko, another reason why I got this figure is because she was one of, if not the first S ranks that I got in the game. So really I had no other choice but to get this figure. Super excited to get her. Like if I had to rank all my figures, she would probably be in like top 10 or something. Yeah, moving on to the last figure for this month, it is another Honkai figure. It is the Hersher of Thunder, Raiden Mei by MiHoYo. What can I say? I am a simple simp for Mei, and even more so for Hot Mei. Anyway, this was the other figure that yeeted Klee to the cancellation bin for a bit. But then she got delayed to February. She is a bit pricey at 20,600 yen on AmiAmi, which is about $250. I did get the deluxe version, or whatever they're calling it. It's with the big arm pieces next to her holding like the giant sword. I just thought like, you know, if I'm gonna get the Hersher of Thunder, I need to get like the whole, like the full figure, you know? Like it wouldn't be the same. She wouldn't be the Hersher of Thunder without them, and I really wanted like the full version of one of my favorite characters from Honkai. So yeah, that's all for February, and moving on to March, where we have 4 figures. First up is the Shinobu Nendoroid that I got from Good Smile for about $68 with shipping. Honestly, I kind of forgot that I got this because I ordered it so long ago, and I'm expecting her to get delayed a few more times due to ordering from the global store. I'm not really sure if I want to keep it just because I spent so much on the Aniplex one, but we'll see. After Shinobu, we have the 1/7 scale figure of D from the A to Z line by Maitos. I don't have any plans on collecting the entire line of A to Z figures, but you know, if they all look this nice, like it's kind of hard to not order them, you know? Quickly moving along, next up is the other Elena figure that I mentioned. It is the summer dress version and it is a 1/7 scale figure from Furyu. And it is considerably more expensive than the one I got for $100 on Tom. She is 19,440 yen, or about $171 on AmiAmi at the moment. I just love the somewhat pensive look on her face and the simple white dress flowing in the wind as she walks along the beach. She has her hat and her cloak, which are removable, so that kind of offers some variety to how you can display her. And she also comes with a bonus smiling face if you order her from FNext, but I really prefer the regular face she has, so I just got her off AmiAmi. And honestly, like I feel like on paper the other one is so much better. It's like there's a lot more going on, but there's just something beautiful in how simple this figure looks, and the sculpt I feel like kind of looks better, like in my opinion. But yeah, the other figure is also really good, so I might just end up with 2 Elena figures, even though I said I didn't want 2 of them. Moving on from my Elena dilemma, we have our last figure for March, and this is the 1/7 scale Yae Sakura Kira no Genso version from Honkai Impact 3rd by Apex. She is a single shipment figure from AmiAmi, which is kind of an attack on my wallet, but man, this is such a beautiful figure. I love everything about it, and I really have this thing with like figures where they're like sitting on swings or stuff like that, like the China dress Yae Sakura and the Maitos Stardust figures. That said, I might end up canceling this figure, even though I love everything about it, just because she isn't my favorite character. And I may have also made a 3AM purchase a couple of weeks ago for another figure of this character, and I don't think I like her enough to justify 2 expensive figures. That is, unless I kind of pretend she's Miko from Genshin, but we'll see. I don't know, we'll see. Moving into April, we have 4 figures again, and first up is the Art FXJ 1/8 scale figure of Mei and Torchic from Pokemon. I grew up playing the first 3 gens, and the Hoenn region was always one of my favorites, and Mei is also like one of my favorite protagonists. At one point, I wanted to collect all of the Pokemon scale figures, but then I saw the aftermarket prices and just quickly noped out of that. So I was really excited when they announced that they were going to release another Mei figure, just because she was always one of my favorites. And honestly, for like under 9,000 yen, there's really no reason for me not to get this. Like honestly, the only thing that would make this so much better is if it was Mudkip instead of Torchic. But that's just because Mudkip is my boy. I always pick Mudkip over everyone else. After Mei, I have the 1/7 scale Ichihara Yuko figure from Holic by Iman Toys. I just kind of pre-ordered this without thinking too much about it, and I feel like it would go well with like another figure I have ordered, but I may end up canceling this one just because I don't really have any attachment to the series or the character. But it's a pretty unique figure, and I think it looks really nice, that it makes me want to get it anyway. This would be my first Iman Toys figure as well, and from my very limited research, they seem to be a pretty decent company, but yeah, I might just end up canceling her. After Yuko, we have the ever popular 1/7 scale Sao Tome Mary figure from Maitos. Honestly, what can I say about her that hasn't already been said? Like, I feel like everyone has her pre-ordered at this point. Let's see, the way she's on the poker table, and the way her hair is like splayed out around her, and her playful gaze, I just love everything about it. Like, it's such a good figure, and I'm glad she's getting this really nice figure because she is one of my favorite characters and would probably be my favorite character if I wasn't in Seiyu Hell. Anyway, moving on, we have the last figure for April, and it is the Emilia Crystal Dress version 2 by Eastream. Pretty controversial, if only because it is Extreme, which is understandable. But yeah, I had this like whole story related to why I got this figure, but then it got way too long. So basically, long story short, the original Crystal dress was the first Emilia figure that I ever got, and it was also the first expensive figure I ever got. Like, I got a couple of figures before, but it wasn't like extreme expensive, you know? And also the original one is probably the reason why I started buying more figures than other merch. This one is probably the last Emilia figure I'll ever get. If I do end up getting it, I do kind of want to cancel it because I do like the original one more. But I did put Tom points towards her, I think, and I don't think I get those back, and I'm kind of like salty, and I don't want them to like just take my points. So yeah, I don't know if I'll be getting this or keeping it at the moment. But yeah, if I do, last Emilia, probably, unless they make a really nice one. But next up is May, and I currently only have one figure, and I hope it stays that way. It is the 1/7 scale Katarina Claes from My Next Life as a Villainess. She is kind of expensive at 18,500 yen, but it's by Fudu, so it's kind of expected. I think she looks great. I do like the whole light novel aesthetic or design, and I love Katarina and think she's so funny, and I love that she has Alexander the Bear with her. And I really hope we get to see other scales of the other characters. Like, personally, I would love a Maria or a Mary or even an Alan, but honestly any of them would be really nice. But those three in particular, I wouldn't really hesitate unless they look really bad. Quickly moving into June, we have 4 figures. First one is the Krush Karsten Nendo from ReZero. When they announced that they were making a figure of someone who weren't the twins or Emilia, I was like really excited. And the fact that it was Krush, oh my god, I was like really excited because I like really love her and I wish like we got to see more of her. But anyways, she's reasonably priced at 4,950 yen. I guess it's because she doesn't really come with a bunch of accessories, just a glass of wine and her sword. Oh, and her cute hat, which I am 100% okay with because I usually just stick with one pose and they'll like stay like that forever. I would have preferred a nice scale for her, but I'm not complaining, to be honest. They gave us Krush. I'm good with that. To be honest, I think the only other character I would really want them to make a figure of, again, preferably a nice scale, is my girl Elsa. Like, I literally don't care. She could K-word me and I say thank you. Anyway, next up is the Yukinoshita Yukino from Orega Iru, or Snafu. I actually pre-ordered this while I was working on this video, so this is the rerun version. I watched like one episode because she's voiced by Hayami Saori and I just love everything she does. But yeah, I think this Nendoroid is really cute and I do like Yukino as a character, just like her design. I don't really know her as a character, and I think she'll fit in nicely with my other Nendoroids in my sort of school setting shelf that just kind of happened. So yeah. And moving on to the scales of the month, first one is the 1/7 scale Ike from Fire Emblem by Intelligent Systems. To be honest, I don't know if I'll be keeping him, if only because I haven't played either of his games. This is such a sick figure though, and I did like playing him in Smash back in the day. And I just know that like the aftermarket is gonna be crazy stupid for him, just like all the other Fire Emblem figures. But yeah, a big old question mark on him. And the final figure for this month is Ningguang. I hope I said her name right, from Genshin Impact. I've said it before and I will say it again and forever. She is a 4-star character with a 5-star character design. Like, literally this figure is so beautiful. Like, everything from the sculpt to the props and like the details, like the smoke that wafts around her from like her pipe and her golden finger claw thing, and like the lamp and the screen behind her. Like, I literally like everything about this. Like, literally the only thing that could like that I could like complain about this is the price. She's like really expensive on AmiAmi for like 28,000 yen, and I don't know, I feel like she looks like she's worth it though, in my opinion. Oh, one thing that I do really like is I think that her lamp does light up based on like the promo pics. I really hope that's the case, but if not, then it's not really a big deal, to be honest. It's more like a bonus personally to me. But yeah, everything looks so good and I am super excited to get this figure. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed, and if it does, not too far into the year. Alright, we made it into the second half of the year, and it shouldn't be as long as the first half. And the first figure for this month is the Nendoroid of Male Traveler, aka Aether from Genshin Impact. It looks like he just comes with the sword and the wind glider, so the 4,870 yen price on AmiAmi seems pretty reasonable to me. I wish they had chosen a different glider for him and not like the basic one, just because I don't really like the one they chose for him. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure that I am going to keep him, if only because I only really got him because I also got our next Nendo, Female Traveler, Lumine. Lumine? Yeah, her. She is the same price as Aether at 4,870 yen, and she also comes with the same accessories, a sword and a wind glider, but she gets a prettier one. And honestly, I just think she's like way cuter, and I love her character design. And of course, I chose her as my traveler, so I am pretty biased towards her. Yeah, I basically just want to get Aether to save her the years it's probably going to take to reunite with him. So I might get him, but I really wish they just gave him a better wind glider. And the last figure for this month is the 1/7 scale Sakurajima Mai rerun by Aniplex Swing. I've wanted a Mai figure for a while, but the ones I liked were like really expensive in the aftermarket, like this one before the rerun and the Nendoroid. I was honestly surprised that Aniplex announced that they were gonna rerun this figure, because I think they're not really known for rerunning anything. I know it's like pretty rare for figures to get rerun, but I don't know, I think Aniplex in particular don't really rerun figures. But bless them for doing so. But while they're at it, maybe they could re-release the Ultimate Madoka too, so I could have her with my Homura. Pretty please. Into August, I have 6 figures, and it's one of the more expensive months overall, I feel like. So the first figure for this month is the Hayasaka Ai 1/7 scale figure by Amakuni. And she is actually one of my favorite characters from Kaguya, and I'm so happy that she's getting a scale figure. One little thing that really made this figure for me were the little keychains on her bag, especially the Kaguya one. I just think it's so cute, and it's probably like my favorite thing about this figure, like overall. I also like the little detail of her nails being painted, because like I mentioned, that's like a thing that I like apparently. And she is pretty reasonably priced at 14,300 yen on AmiAmi, and I'm super excited to add her to my collection. After Hayasaka, we have Shokuho Misaki from A Certain Scientific Railgun T, or Toaru no Railgun. This is another figure by Furyu, and I realized I really need to stop ordering their figures because they're so expensive and sometimes the quality doesn't really match, which I am aware of, but I see things and they're pretty and I order them. And I think this is called the live drawing version, but I've just been calling her the Tea Party version because I think she would go well with my current Tea Party set that I have with the ReZero girls. And she is one of my favorite characters from Railgun, and while I really do like this figure and I feel like it's one of her better ones, I don't know, I don't really vibe with the face. I'm not really sure what it is about it, because sometimes I think it looks fine and other times I'm like, it looks kind of off. But yeah, I'm like 70-30 on getting it, to be honest, at the moment. But yeah. Moving on to the third figure for this month, it is another figure that I am kind of thinking about canceling. It's the 1/8 scale Sleeping Beauty figure by My Ethos from their Fairy Tale Another series. Sleeping Beauty was my favorite princess growing up, and I love everything about this figure, from the design of the basket to the flowers and the woodland creatures. And of course, Sleeping Beauty herself looks really pretty. But my main issue is that she doesn't really go with anything else in my collection, so she'll just kind of be like there, like sticking out. Yeah, so I feel like I would regret it a lot if I did cancel her, but I also don't really know where else to put her, and I don't really want to buy any other Fairy Tale figures if I'm not really into them. But yeah, that's my dilemma with this figure. Moving on. Next up is a figure that actually made me cave and buy the Shinobu figure from Right Stuf. It is the matching 1/8 scale Nezuko figure by Aniplex Wing. I didn't really want any Demon Slayer figures, but here I am expecting 3 of them this year somehow. So yeah, I got her off Tom using points, so she came out to be $182 with shipping. I know a lot of people hate the effects pieces because it takes away from Nezuko and because it also inflates the price, and they're absolutely right. But I do also think that it makes this particular figure stand out amongst the many other Nezuko figures, whether they're scales or prizes. And in the end, I just hope that it comes out really nicely. Our second to last figure for this month is another Honkai figure. This is the 1/7 scale Teresa Apocalypse Starlit Astrologos version by Hobbymax. She is pretty expensive at 18,300 yen on AmiAmi, but honestly, for how unique this figure is and how absolutely beautiful it is, I'm pretty comfortable with that price, to be honest. I was hesitant on ordering this at first because while I do like Teresa, she isn't my favorite character. But back when I was checking AmiAmi daily for a pre-order spot for the Herrscher of the Void Kiana figure, I would also see this because they were like on the first page, like literally right next to each other. And so I just kind of like pre-ordered it as a sort of temporary measure because I figured that I'd rather secure a pre-order now and cancel it if I changed my mind than to have to hunt for it later. The last figure for this month is the 0217 scale wedding dress version by Good Smile Company. I pretty much just pre-ordered this one because I wanted a 02 scale, and this is like a really like beautiful figure. My friend and I were actually debating for like the longest time on whether or not we really wanted this or if it was just a hype, and then we decided like the last week before pre-orders closed or like somewhere near that. Honestly, like I don't really care about wedding dress figures, like it does nothing for me, but I just couldn't say no to her. She's absolutely stunning. Moving on to the next month, that's somehow even worse than August, is September with 7 figures. We'll start with the Kagamihara Sakura from Eurocamp. It is the Nendoroid. Nadeshiko is my favorite character from Eurocamp, and I also really like Sakura, her sister, so I'm excited to have them together. Moving on to the scales for the month, the first one is the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Pyra 1/7 scale figure. This is one of the reruns that went up last year, and I got the one that's releasing in September. I am thinking about canceling this, if only because I haven't played the game yet, even though I do want to at some point. But yeah, she looks really good, but I don't know, I'm like really torn on getting it or not, because I feel like I would really regret it if I didn't get her. Which is the same case for the next scale figure, which is the Mithra. Honestly, if I had to choose one, I would get Mithra just because I like her design more. Like, when I play JRPGs, I just tend to like the blonde characters more. I don't know. But because she's like basically a matching pair to the Pyra, like I need to get both of them, you know? They're like a set, and they just look so good together too. Moving on to the next figure, it is the 1/7 scale False Lander Samurai by Wing. Oh my god, I am so excited for this figure. It looks so sick. Like, it goes so well with like the other like A to Z figures. I don't know, I just really love pink haired characters too. And you know what's even better is that she has swords, like plural swords, and she's in armor. Like, say less. I already hit that pre-order button. You don't have to say anymore. She is quite expensive at 24,750 yen. But damn, she looks so good. Oh my god, I hit that pre-order button so fast. I didn't even think about it. Anyway, moving on. Next is the Mona figure from Genshin Impact by Wonderful Works. You're probably thinking, wow, this girl just orders every single Genshin and Honkai figure, huh? And you're right, I do, but this figure does look really nice, but I might cancel it because I'm not the biggest Mona fan and don't really care for like her pose. She's also like one of the 2 standard banner characters that I don't have still somehow. And honestly, this is just me being salty. I think that's like one of the reasons why I kind of want to cancel this. But yeah, I do think it looks really nice, like the quality and the sculpt. I know I said I don't really care for the pose, but I do think it's like better than her just standing. But yeah, might cancel this one. We'll see. Moving along is the Radio Ava 1 Asuka figure rerun. I'm gonna be honest and say that I have only seen a few episodes of Evangelion. Like, I don't even think I met Asuka yet, but I do really like this figure, specifically this monochromatic version. But I may cancel it because I kind of like the part 2 version more. But I also really like this one, so I'm not really sure. Maybe if I don't end up canceling Pyra Mitra, then I will cancel her, and vice versa, but we'll see. And finally, the 7th and final figure for this month is the 02 School Uniform rerun by Aniplex. This is a figure that I've been interested in getting for a long time, and personally, I think that this is one of the better 02 figures out there. But I never got around to getting her because of the crazy aftermarket price. So when Aniplex announced that she was getting a rerun, I was like, okay, where is she? I was literally checking all the stores, and I was like this close to like ordering off the Aniplex store using a proxy. But I ended up getting her off Tom for $224 with shipping, because I didn't really want to use a proxy. And it was just more convenient for me. I probably won't see her until like 2023 if like she gets shipped from their US warehouse, but just knowing that I will have her at some point is enough for me. I don't mind the delays. Alright, after 2 back-to-back pricey months, I have just 2 figures for October, and hopefully it stays this way. The first one is the Gura Nendo from Good Smile. I was lucky enough to get her in the first production run, but it is from the US warehouse, from Tom, so I probably won't see her until sometime in 2023, to be honest. I did debate on whether or not I wanted this because I don't really follow Hololive anymore, and I didn't really follow Hololive EN as much. But yeah, her Nendo was just too cute not to get. Like, I love all her faceplates too, and then her little shark buddy. I just think overall this is just a Nendo that like is like one of the cutest ones like, in general. The other figure I have for this month is the Ogiwara Sayu from Higehiro. This is that I shaved my beard or something and took in a High School Runaway anime. So this is a non-scale figure, and she's pretty tiny at a height of 165 millimeters, or just about 6.5 inches, because she is crouching. Like, I literally got a ruler and measured her against a few other figures that I'm planning on putting her next to, and she's so small. Like, she's tiny. I thought about canceling her for a while back, because I never got around to finishing the series, but I do remember liking her enough to like pre-order her. And I think this figure just looks so nice, even though it is pretty simple. She does have another figure coming out done by Union Creative where she's standing. And while I do like the fact that she's standing more than this one where she's crouching, this one just looks better overall. Plus, I just think that Good Smile just has better consistent quality than Union Creative, who are more hit or miss from what I've read in my very limited research. So yeah, I would say I am 70-30 on this figure. But we'll see. So for November, I have just 3 figures, but that doesn't mean that it's a cheaper month. So first up is the 1/7 scale Fortitude Levi rerun by Kotobukiya. Another figure that I pre-ordered while making this video. But yeah, I remember seeing pictures of this Levi figure and I was just like really stunned. And like I really wanted to buy it despite not really being into the series anymore. And I saw the aftermarket price and just noped out. I was like, nope, I don't need him. But yeah, I'm really glad he's getting a rerun so I can add him to my collection. And the second figure for this month is C from the A to Z line by Maitos at a nice price of 11,400 yen. To be honest, at first I wasn't very impressed with this one, like compared to the other 3 figures from this line. I just thought this one was a little bit plain and I didn't really like the face. But after looking at it a bit more closely, I started liking it a little bit more. I'm still not very sold on the face, but I like that her nails are painted and the sheer cloth on her head I think is a really nice touch. And I'm really digging her weapon of choice. Is that like a crossbow? Not like a gun? Like I don't even know, but I just think it looks sick. And also my name starts with the C and she's C. So clearly I have to get her, right? Anyway, the last figure for this month and a big wallet buster is the absolutely stunning 1/7 scale figure of Kukuru and Fuka from the Aquatope on White Sand. I didn't really expect the series to have as much merch as they have, let alone a figure, and a really extravagant one at that. Like, so when I saw the prototype, I was surprised. I legit thought it was like some kind of joke. But Aquatope was one of the few animes that I actually watched last year, and it was like, in my opinion, pretty underrated. So after seeing this, I was like, damn, I need to get it. And then I saw that it was FNext making it, and I was like, oh no, this is gonna be expensive. This is gonna be at least 50k. And they revealed the price tag a couple of weeks later, and I just laughed in pain because it was it was 49,830 yen. So I was going to pass on it even though I really wanted it, but then Tom had that Black Friday campaign where you get extra points, and I had some points which made the total a bit cheaper at $421 US, and that's with shipping, which is way cheaper than Ami not including shipping. And I got like $100+ in Tom points back, which was a nice bonus. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the most expensive figure I will ever buy. I kind of refuse to pay any more than this. And you know, FNext is kind of like also hit or miss, so hopefully this one is a hit. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just gonna pray that it's not a miss. We're finally on the last month, and we just have 3 figures for December. The first is the Radio Eva 2 Asuka figure. This is the monochrome version that I'm showing, but I do also have the colored one pre-ordered. This is because I'm not really sure which one I like more at the moment, but I will only be getting one of them in the end. Right now, I am leaning more towards this one because I do really like the way the color red pops. Red is one of my favorite colors, so that's the thing. It is a bit more expensive by about 2,000 yen compared to the colored version, but something about this just grabs my attention more despite the fact that there's not that many colors, I guess. yeah, like I mentioned before, I might end up canceling the version 1 because I do like the pose here more. I just think it looks so much nicer, and I just like everything about it more. But yeah, I will definitely be picking up one of these version 2 figures. Just don't know which one yet. Next up is another Genshin figure. It is the 1/7 scale Keqing figure. Sorry, Keqing? I love all my Electro girls, so I still love her even if she's absolutely useless on my team because I'm too lazy to build her. But she's pretty and I like teleporting with her, so yeah, this figure is not quite as elaborate as the other figures from Genshin, in my opinion. And there's just something about her face that I don't really like sometimes. Like, sometimes the bottom half of her face just looks weird to me, but other times they look fine. Like, I don't really know why. But anyway, everything else looks really nice. I love her character design in the first place, so this figure is just something that I'm really interested in. And I just think it's been really nicely translated into a figure. The frills of her skirt and the ribbons on her blouse are also really nice and give her a dynamic look because they're like flowing in the wind. I also like that we can see her vision on her back and it looks to be pretty detailed. Like it's not just like there, it's like actually sculpted. I also like that she comes with 2 sword pieces, although one of them is a limited first press bonus. So she comes with the Lion's Roar and a purple version of it, which I'm pretty sure is just based on like her burst where everything turns purple. Yeah, I'm like really excited to get her. Hopefully she turns out nicely and her face doesn't bother me when she does come out. Finally, the last figure for this year is none other than the Max Factory 1/6 scale Ryza figure. Honestly, I didn't really want to get this because I didn't want to have 3 Ryzas in my collection, but this girl has so many figures in the works and they all look so good. Like, please Ryza, spare some figure budget for your friend Claudia. I need to get one of Claudia. She is my favorite character. Please, just one painted prototype, that's all I'm asking for. Anyway, yeah, I didn't want to get another Ryza figure, but I couldn't ignore like just how beautiful this one is. Like I managed to like not get the other one where she's like sitting and she kind of has like a smug face. But this one was like, it's like I couldn't. The main thing that got me to hit that pre-order button was the base. Like, this is, I think, probably one of my favorite bases of all time for a figure. The brick wall with the ivy and the plants growing on it adds like so much life to it, and I love the little addition of like the book and the flask around her. And of course Ryza herself looks really cute with the bird on her shoulder. And honestly, this is probably like my favorite figure of Ryza, even like accounting for like her unreleased ones. And yeah, this is honestly like the best figure to end the year on, and I'm super excited to get her. So yeah, that's the end of my pre-orders list for 2022. Thank you so much for sticking around for as long as you did. And yeah, I know this video is really late and it's probably February already, but thanks for listening to me ramble on about like molded pieces of plastic. Yeah, let me know if you're excited for any figures on this list or any figures that you are personally excited for on your list. Anyways, I'm just gonna stop talking here. Thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you around.